suntan.
Look at that
That's suntan.
Jacksonville, Florida tan.
I didn't do it, Scott. I swear I didn't do it. Oh.
All right, we're live.
Okay, welcome everyone. Let me read the Title VI documentary here first. As a recipient of federal funds and in support of Lawrenceburg's efforts to ensure non-discrimination and equal access to all citizens, the city gathers statistical data regarding participants in city activities. Therefore, we have provided a voluntary Title VI public involvement survey at this meeting. You are not required to complete this survey. However, the form is anonymous and will be used solely for the purpose of monitoring our compliance with Title VI and ADA, and that is located in the back corner of the room here, if you so desire to fill one out. First meeting I'd like to call to order tonight is our Board of Works meeting for October 18th, 2021. Mr. Fetty, can I get a roll call, please?
Board Member Tony Abbott.
Here.
Board Member Tommy Roulette.
Present.
City Attorney Dale Weldon.
He's here, unaccounted for. There he is.
City Attorney Dale Weldon. There he is. President Kelly Milan.
Here.
And myself.
Okay, you gentlemen have any announcements for this meeting? I have none for this one.
I have none.
None, Mayor.
All right, thank you. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Let me see here. That was October 4th.
Yeah, I believe the next set of minutes got the incorrect date on them.
Yeah, I do too. That's what I was looking at. I don't remember when that was. I was not a part of that meeting.
I'd have to look. Do you recall, Mr. Weldon?
Yeah, I do. Man, you got a hard copy of that?
Here's one. Oh, no, here's the minutes right here.
Well, this is the one that I don't think is the right
Oh,
date.
yeah, it's the correct date.
Is it?
It all
They were both
happened,
on the
it all
4th?
happened in one day, yeah.
Oh, was it the same day?
Okay,
Okay,
Yeah, it's the same day.
all right,
Well, yeah. That's right.
okay.
good, because I've got.
Was there only one set of meetings? Minutes?
No, there were two sets. We had a work
You were
session,
part of one.
Earlier in the
Executive
day.
break, and then we had the regular board work.
Okay.
Got it, okay, so we're good.
Yeah.
No other set.
Thank you, Mr. Fetty.
Yep.
Thanks, Mark. Okay, under new business, I have none
We
for
need to-
this
We need to
meeting.
approve the second.
All I got is one set of meeting minutes.
I've got two.
Yeah, I've
We
got
had the
two.
work session at 91 Walnut Street,
Yep,
Oh,
And we
okay.
had-
The one at 2 o'clock and one at 6 o'clock.
yeah.
and we had the one at 6.
Okay, I got
Well,
you.
one was executive, so
No, they were
Nope.
two work sessions.
No, it's a work session.
Okay.
There was also
That's right,
an
it was.
executive, but there's
Yeah.
one executive, two work sessions.
that's right.
The one we just approved was October 4th, and I asked for, it was the 2:03 PM one, okay?
Okay,
So the next meeting minutes I'd like to ask for approval is for October 4th, the 6 o'clock PM
There we
meeting. Could I get a motion, please?
So moved, Mayor.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Mark, for clarifying that. Okay, I have no new business for Board of Works tonight. I can tell you that they are currently interviewing for the two labor apprentice positions. I think the interviews continue this week, if I'm not mistaken.
Actually, we start Wednesday, yes.
Start Wednesday.
Start Wednesday, yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay. All right, old business, Mr. Weldon, the property management agreement.
Thank you, Your Honor. What you have in your packets for the Board of Public Works and Safety consideration and possible approval is the property management agreement for Jamie Collier, 4th Street Management. This is an agreement that was originally brought before the Board of Public Works and Safety at a work session. We kind of went through it. Everyone kind of dissected the different paragraphs. We made some changes. Then we were able to have another meeting, a second meeting at Mark Fetty's office to make another round of revisions. I cleared both sets of those revisions with Jamie Collier and his attorney Philomena Ashdown, and essentially they've accepted all of our proposed changes. The only change that they insist on keeping is the 1% should the property be sold while the contract is in place. However, we've kind of talked about if that were ever to become an issue, we can cancel the contract without cause on 30 days notice. So that shouldn't be a stickler. That shouldn't be something that holds us up, because
Okay.
we could sell the property independent of his management. So Jamie has approved it, and if it's a pleasure of the board, then we would approve that. The reason we are entering into this agreement is we're transitioning completely out of any remnants of the Greg Davis receivership that's tied to the bankruptcy, and then we're in kind of a middle ground receivership. Now we're just purely on a one-on-one relationship with them. He has been kind of on cruise control with the residential properties, kind of flipping those, setting new rents, and maintaining those. But now we've got some commercial properties that have changed hands, which we hadn't experienced before. So this language in the contract allows him to now enter in agreements with the commercial properties, make sure that everyone has exactly what they need, and to continue to take care of those properties and those tenants.
Okay. Any questions from you guys?
The only question I have is, once the ink dries, who does Mr. Collier answer to? I mean, if tenants have a problem
Yep.
and they don't get resolved, who can that person call next?
All of you guys. I mean, as a
Okay, I didn't know if there was one specific person.
no, and that's
That way
why.
you keep it, one person knows what's going on in all.
I mean, it would
I would
really
like
report up to the
I'd like
mayor.
for him to call me, and
Okay.
then I share it with the Board of Works.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's why.
That would be,
It is, and if you've noticed, a little different than years past. Any kind of agreement like this we've done with the Board of Works and Safety, because Board of Works is, remember, executive branch,
Right.
as opposed to council, which is the legislative branch. So this is kind of a management operations item. So this would report up probably to Mario, to the mayor, and mayor would report to you guys. But if anything needed to happen officially, it would be Board of Works, mayor would bring it for you guys. And so this is a contract with you, with the city, but through the Board of Works.
Okay. Again, I just needed it for clarification, so no.
Yep.
I just want one thing clarified though. So if we decide to sell it, we release him from the contract first
And you can
30
do it
days.
In 30 days.
within 30 days.
Yep, we can do that. One of the reasons that Jamie Collier started working with the city in the first place, before we even took office 7 years ago or so, was because we were winding down all of the loans, or revolving loans, and with the Davis properties, because the receiver was needed, he was someone that the law firm we were working with at the time identified as someone who manages properties in the tri-state area, but is also a commercial realtor. So the reason that provision's in there is because private entities in this situation, he'd be a one-stop shop for them. He'd manage the properties, he could sell them, but
He's a commercial realtor as well?
he is, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we would, this is, we're a government entity, so anything we would do, we would take a step back and do it in a completely
Why would
transparent way.
why would he be so against taking that clause out of this?
Because of what I just said, and I had that conversation with him too, because all his other contracts, all of them have that provision. However, so if we sold it today and didn't cancel the contract and the contract didn't run out, then his position is, well, I've created value, I've taken care of your properties, I've done a good job for you guys, that's
And
why
paid
it's
you.
in here. But if we wanted to say, okay, we're gonna get rid of you, Jamie, we're gonna wait 30 days, give you your proper notice, and wait until the contract's completely gone, and then sell the property, we can do that. We don't need to include him in that agreement. So this is only for if we sold it while the agreement is in place.
Well, if we want to sell it, he might be a good resource to sell it for us. I mean, being a commercial broker, and so I mean,
And that was the original
win-win.
thought, if we ever sold them, that he would be, because he's
he's
in
going to want
Cincinnati,
more
he's
than
not
1%.
local.
So,
Yeah,
just so
exactly.
you guys are aware.
And that's a good point too by Mr. Noppert. I mean, this is it's just a provision they has in all his contracts. But Jamie's been great. I mean, there's no gotcha things in this.
I don't want
contract.
that provision or that clause to come back and bite us.
Yep, exactly. We won't let it.
Got your word on that.
You got it. That's right.
All right.
Dale I had one question with
Yep.
with the bank accounts. I know I said something to you last week. Right now, there's the bank account, and that's in the Davis Holding Company, and it
Yep.
basically says in this contract it should be in the city of Lawrenceburg. So I would, we need to get that squared away, taken care of. And in reading it just a little bit closer, he pretty much has full access to that account. And the city can basically just view it only. And there's a substantial amount of money in there. We really didn't put a clause in saying, hey, once it reaches a certain amount, we take some back. So I'd like to get something squared away a little bit better as far as the wording or maybe so much the wording that is to have my name or something on that account also
Yep.
for access.
And that's no problem at all. We talked about that too. Because you and Mr. Earl had proposed like just a certain amount. If it gets above 50,000, then cut the extra check. They didn't like that just because they didn't want to pick an arbitrary number. And remember, this is our money all the way down to $1, so it doesn't matter. And the good thing is in this contract, we're protected in multiple paragraphs that say that this is our money, that he can only use it to improve the properties and only with our approval if it's over a certain amount. So, but yeah, when he starts a new account, that's not a problem at all to have you on the account.
Well, I'd like to
account
get it
as
changed
well.
into the city of Lawrenceburg's name and
Yep.
get my name added to that account.
Yeah, and it would probably be not an account just in the city of Lawrenceburg's name. It would be 4th Street Management and City of Lawrenceburg jointly, because the 4th Street Management is the entity that we're just signing these leases in.
Yes,
And that's
I
what we want. We want one
yes.
step removed, but we can also have you on the account, so kind of accomplish both goals.
Okay.
Yep,
No problem.
thank you.
Any other questions?
Have none, Mayor.
Okay, do you think that they will have a problem with putting City of Lawrenceburg on that account with Mark Fetty's name?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, then my suggestion would be to get a motion to approve the property management agreement with the addition of the City of Lawrenceburg on
Clerk
the,
treasurer.
and the clerk
Clerk treasurer,
treasurer
yeah.
listed on the account, on the account with the savings in it?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Okay. Does that sound right, guys?
Sounds good to me, Mayor.
All right. Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. From what I understand as of right now, I think all of the properties are rented. We may have one or two coming available if anybody has anybody looking,
For the residential as well.
residential.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Depends on how Tommy's behaving with Angie.
You may need one of them.
I have a garage next to the house.
Yeah, there you go. With a lift. Anyway, all right, any other old business? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the claims.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, before I bring to order the next meeting, I want to just remind people at 6:30 this evening, we will have to pause wherever we're at for the budget adoption, for the 2022 adoption of the budget. So just wanted to remind everybody of that. Okay. Next meeting I'd like to call to order is Parks and Recreation for October 18th, 2021. Could I get a roll call, Mr. Fetty?
Yep. Board Member Tony Abbott.
Here.
Board Member Justin Aubert.
Sir?
Board Member Tommy Roulette.
Present.
Board Member Lenny Fryman.
Here.
Board Member Brett Bondurant. Sir. City Attorney Chris Weldon.
Here.
President Kelly Malone.
Here.
And myself.
All right. Okay, any announcements for this meeting, guys? I have none for Parks.
Will
Nothing?
we be winterizing any of those? Or have we already winterized like the water fountains and such?
I don't believe yet, Mr. Noppert. We usually do that same time frame as we do the splash pad over here at the park. And I believe that is right around the end of October. And that's when we'll do the bathrooms and such as well. Yes, good point. Good point. Any other
I just want to
questions?
mention one thing. I was over at Arch Street today, and fiber box and another box, neither one of them have locks on it. And we've had them ripped out before, right?
They don't have locks on it?
There's no locks on them.
One's on the back of the bathroom?
Yep, I opened both of them.
Oh.
Did you tamper with it?
Nope.
Yeah, that was an issue, obviously.
I know they were ripped out and we were supposed to put locks on them. I thought they did. Maybe they did and somebody took
Fiber,
them.
what other box did you say?
There's the fiber box down on the bottom, then there's another connection box
Okay.
up in the middle.
I'll get that taken a look tomorrow morning. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. By the way, Arch Street Park was packed today.
Yes, it was.
Nice day out. Okay, good, thank you. Any other announcements?
Mr. Mayor, you want to talk about trees and parks meeting? at
Oh,
all?
go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Councilman Abbott and I rode around a few weeks ago just identifying some really easy areas that, based on a 2016 forest management study that was done by the Davie Resource Group, which actually ran into her at our meetings a couple weeks ago and talked to her quite a bit regarding that. They did a very comprehensive study of areas that we needed trees, needed to replace trees, needed different types of trees, and so we took that and actually consulted a little bit with our local tree company, and just went around just identifying areas that would be really easy. We don't have to cut curbs, not intruding on parking spaces, et cetera, and came up with about, Tony, what we come up with,
40 of 'em.
40 or so trees, identified areas, and we did place little orange flags in the ground, but they're all been removed since pretty much.
There's a few of them still out there.
I didn't do that.
Okay, I did yeah, I saw the mayor going around pulling all the flags up. I did document where they all were, but there are, many of the tree areas would be, no obstructions above as well, but also probably smaller 20 to 30 foot trees, flowering fruit trees and such. But currently, inventory on those things are
About like everything else?
void like everything else.
Yes.
But we do have some oaks, maples, red, white, and oaks and maples that are available right now for maybe some of the areas that could accommodate 40, 50 foot tree. That's not going to be obstructing into the roadway. So that's talking with.
Do you know how many trees, that, like right now, that are in inventory from who you've talked to that can take care of what we would need for now?
I can get 14 trees.
Well,
14 trees in inventory, which these are 9 to 10 foot trees, which are good size to start with. And
Well, I would suggest if you want, because I think now's the time to plant.
it is.
It
Yeah.
is.
If you can get a hold of those 14 trees, we've got some money in rainy day that we can use for those, because I know we budgeted for some trees for next year for sure. But it's only 14 trees. I think we can find that in a rainy day budget and try to get that done this year.
Yeah, I did talk to Mr. Massey too, as far as
Okay.
things, and he said they could probably be available to help plant them as well.
Okay.
So
Now, there's one on Elm Street, Upper Elm, that was diseased and we need to take down.
Oh, you want to take a tree down?
Have to if
well,
it's diseased.
there are probably there's probably half a
Write that
dozen
down.
of them that
Yeah.
need to be removed.
Can somebody take notes on
I
that?
got that. Tony.
public
This,
meeting?
this one's looking pretty bad.
Okay. Where's it at, Tony?
It's on, it's 300, 400,
Can you
500.
speak into your microphone, please?
500 block of elm.
Could you guys by chance maybe mark them somehow so they would know?
They were marked with orange flags, but the
Okay.
mayor
Lighted
picked them up
tree,
and trying
yeah.
to sell them back to us now, I think.
Yeah, there's a handful of them that need to be replaced, but that's
It's interesting.
kind of thinking in the future, phase 2, but not to cut them down and then concrete them over. So just we'll replace them appropriately when we come around to it.
Okay. All right. I'll tell you what, let's get a motion to move forward with the 14 trees.
Okay.
That way we have that much started on the project.
3 red maples, 5 white oaks, 5 red oaks, 1 green mountain sugar maple.
Okay, total of 14 trees.
Yes, sir.
Okay, can I get a motion to move forward with the purchase and the planting of 14 trees for the tree project for 2021 and do the additional in 2022.
So moved, Mayor.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Tony? You're okay?
I'm good.
All right, thank you.
It's a
Move
start.
forward.
It's a
Move
start.
forward, move forward, move forward.
It's
Get
been
him on.
five years coming for you.
Huh? One of them's gonna go in the park.
Yeah, to
What's that?
replace the one over here.
One of the trees is gonna go in the park for
Absolutely.
Mrs. Rudolph.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I've got,
We had that in the,
I've got the info.
Well, do we have a specific kind of tree? Can, do you want to use one of these?
I would say one of those oaks
Well, there's,
would be nice.
I'm fine if they want to choose too, because there's a Green Mountain sugar maple, which these are all hard maples. These aren't these silver maples that you see grow like.
how large will these trees?
These are 40 to 50-foot trees.
These
Yeah,
are
I don't
big
know,
ones.
you want something like that big? I think
A
you,
lot of shade. That's the biggest complaint
Well,
from people
I'll
over there.
tell you what,
Of course,
that
it's
one
gonna be
area
30 years before it
that-
gets shade.
That one area that's open in the middle, that's, in that park, if you were here in the middle of the, the day we cut the ribbon, it was blazing hot.
yeah.
A big tree right there in the middle probably wouldn't be bad, and it's not obstructing overhead lines.
But do we wanna put one that's gonna be faster growing? Cause the oaks are gonna be very slow.
Well, we could do the maple will grow a little faster, but these are hard maples.
You're not talking about it underneath the turf, though?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Not like Greensburg.
Yeah, all right.
On top of the lake.
Yeah, exactly. Have it coming outside of the slide? and-
Yeah.
Okay.
No, right there, there's an open grassy
Yeah,
area. that
I know where
actually-
you're
you
at.
can get grass to grow 'cause there's so much.
I know where
crap.
you're at.
A big
By the
tree
way,
there
we're
could
gonna
be-
turf some
could
of
be
that.
nice. So, all right, sounds
Okay,
good.
we can do that.
Speaking of our street park, did you find out anything about the static electricity? I was over
Yes.
today and it was tearing me
Well,
up.
I say yes. I've inquired about it with Mario. Mario's inquired about it with the company. They're looking for anybody else that's had issues, alternatives with it, outside of keeping the thing damp.
Yeah.
There's not a lot you can do.
I didn't think so, but I hope they come up with something, cause that stuff will.
That's
scrape
what I've
you.
heard thus far.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about
Yeah,
it.
they're still looking. The company is still working with him.
I don't
But
know if my
outside of
granddaughter-
keeping it,
I don't know if my granddaughter's gonna speak to me anymore.
Well, their hair stands on end when they come out of the slides, 2 feet out.
yeah.
It's a lot of static. We can
Good.
talk to Billy about that. Maybe we can generate some energy in.
We could house it somehow. All right, thanks. That's a good update. Any other announcements?
Nope.
Whoops, sorry. Any, if no other announcements, I entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion will carry. There's 2 items on new business. One is the Whiskey City 5K for November 6th. They will be using the trail. I just wanted to get an approval on the books for that.
We had a little bit on High Street on the way back too.
Yeah, just a little bit on High Street,
Down
but
the-
mainly we've moved it most all to the trail.
Is this a map of that we got sitting in our packet?
Yeah,
Yes.
It was, yes, sir.
Yes, it is.
There
Absolutely.
was no explanation, but I
Yeah.
sort of put two and two together.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm sorry, Tommy.
No, it's all right.
So that's for November 6th. Any questions regarding that?
Well, can we have it cleaned before they do the thing from the geese? Cause that gets pretty nasty on there.
I'm assuming we can,
The trail or the High Street?
the trail.
The trail.
Yeah, it's pretty covered in walnuts right now.
Yeah.
It's pretty scary running.
Yeah, we, towards the end of the mowing season, we have extra people that'll be doing trail, because in the fall, you have a lot of excess leaves, things like that,
Yeah.
tree branches, and those folks end up, we got people on the trail more often. Yes, we can do that. Can I get a motion to accept the Whiskey City 5K on November 6th?
So moved.
Mayor.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. That motion passes. The next one, Mr. Richardson from the Community Center gave you guys a packet for some arcade machines. He wanted to get approval for purchasing. Any questions? Oh, there he is. You guys got any questions, you can ask him.
I'm sitting here looking at him going,
He's shaking
He's
his
going,
head no.
"No?"
Oh, he's already saying no?
Before we move on here,
no,
can
here's
I say
what I'm
something
asking.
Real quick, let me
Sure.
ask you this. I was sitting back there thinking,
Uh-oh. I'm in
I was
trouble.
thinking, when I'm 65, 70 years old, that tree that you're all gonna plant over at Arch Street Park is gonna be big and tall.
Yes.
I'll probably be walking my grandson under it, and you won't even be here on this earth anymore.
No, I'll
Isn't that something to
guarantee
think
it.
about?
Guarantee it.
The things that we do ripple for life.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Tony's-
I don't know if he's allowed to say that, Tony.
I've got some pinball questions. Led Zeppelin's the best we come up with. These kids have no idea. No idea
We're
at
gonna,
all.
we're gonna bring some culture
I'm
to
gonna say,
them.
who's Led Zeppelin?
First of all, they need
Is
to
that a
be
balloon?
educated. They need to be educated. Somebody needs to get the lead out, but no.
Lead to the
Seriously,
head.
we can, when I was looking at them, there are certain ones that are made and available, or they could be ready pretty quickly. That was just one of them that I found that piqued my interest. That does not mean that that's one that we have to go with. What we would probably do is get you to approve on the pricing, and then we would go back and look at a list of what was available to us based on those prices, and then we would pick from that. But to give you an idea of the overall across-the-board pricing models that you would find, I just happened to choose the Led Zeppelin 3 pinball machine and then price that out over 3 different companies. And I did the same with the Dance Revolution machine that was presented as well.
We're gonna need a demonstration on that, by the way, before we can approve that.
We've already got the mayor set up,
Oh, okay, all right.
and he's going to challenge him to a dance contest.
Yeah.
I want to be there. I'd like to be there and watch it.
Yeah, well, you do not want to be there.
Now, that one's a little bit more set, though, the dance machine. Those are readily available, I think, through whichever one we went through. The pinball machines are not. For some reason, pinball machines are a pretty niche market, even today.
Yep.
Even to find somebody that would work on it, the one that we previously had, we had to contact somebody as far away as Dayton and have them come down and take a look at it to even get priced on what it would be to fix that. So it is still kind of a pretty niche market.
Will we keep the Simpsons one then intact, or are you gonna get rid of that one?
The Simpson one is currently decommissioned. We had the city garage come over and take that, and they've got it on the
Now they're
auction
playing it.
block currently.
I'm sure they are.
With the Galaga and Pac-Man tabletop.
They got it to work now. Richard, is it, are you proposing an amount of money or an amount of machines?
To be honest with you, with the way that current stock is and what's going on, I'd rather approve a certain amount of money to be spent on the arcade machines based on the information that I have provided to you.
So the way I'm looking at the amount of money you're talking about maybe 4 machines?
I am talking 2 machines, 1 pinball machine, 1 Dance Revolution machine.
Okay.
The Dance Revolution machine would be a fairly large size machine. Pinball machine, standard size. We have another lead on a grant. We're trying
Okay.
to get a system that would go in the ceiling and project the game onto the floor for the smaller kids. So we're really looking at different facets of ways we can engage the community and engage with the different ages that are walking through the door.
Okay.
But the actual pinball machine actually appeals more to adults than it does to children. But that's still good because during the day, between pickleball and between the morning fitness classes, they will actually go in there and play the pinball machine. Whereas the kids at night might play it a little bit, but they're going to be more interested in the Dance Revolution machine, and hopefully, if we can get everything worked out through a grant, the projected game that would go on the floor.
I think that Dance Revolution game is gonna get a lot of use.
Yeah.
And I think that's good. I didn't even think about when you were proposing this, went through it, I was like, you know what, it's gonna be a big hit.
And the good thing about it is that particular model, they will update with the latest songs.
Oh, yeah.
So we actually get that built into the price of the machine.
Nice.
The,
Oh, that's great.
factory has that installed in it, so.
So what's the total amount of money you're asking?
If we look at the 2 from the game room guys, which would
Right.
include free shipping, I believe we'd be at a total of $22,498 altogether.
So that doesn't include the skee ball?
You want a skee ball?
I think the kids would love the skee ball.
People
Would
we
you,
have kids throwing balls at each other.
If you can, I mean, we're not opposed to any games at all. Our current budget line after what I know of to be committed at the moment, we should have around $240,000 left in the budget line by the end of the year.
And like every department head, I'll say, hey, you don't need to spend it.
And I'm not,
No, you're not. I know you're not. I know you're
I think I'm
not.
gonna spend it or the mayor's gonna take it back.
I know you're not.
That was a little bit different budget
Yeah, I
last
know
year. Now,
It is, it
This
is.
year coming forward, we're gonna.
Yeah, we get a little bit.
He's
little
trying to
tighter.
he's trying to get it out while he
Yeah,
can.
he knows the game.
Do we miss out on the free shipping if we go with the 2 low bids on this? Cause that's $1,000 difference by going with the game room guys on the Dance Revolution game.
no, we don't, because we'd still get with the Monkeys Arcade, I believe is the lowest bid.
Yeah.
We get the free
That's what
shipping
I
on that.
wanna do.
Game room guys, we get the free shipping as well.
Can I make,
Of course, it is, again, contingent upon making sure that it's still in stock, still
Right.
available. That's gonna be the hardest hurdle. So if you approve anything tonight, I'll go back tomorrow and get on the phone with these people and just reconfirm that they still have it, that it could be shipped out sooner rather than later.
can I make a suggestion? I want to know what you think of this, is I understand you only want one pinball machine and then one Dance Revolution machine or whatever. I would be more in favor of going with 2 pinball machines and a dance. I would up your money a little bit, okay, for this year. And the reason I say that is you get something new and shiny in there, everybody's going to want to play it. And I think if you get 2 of them, you know, two different pinball machines and then you're dancing, I think you just have I don't know. And you don't have that kind of budget next year, I know that.
I'm not opposed to that. I think that's a good idea.
Feeling okay tonight?
Well, I just
gonna say,
I
Mayor,
just
you
want to
get
make sure
sick?
we get the right things in there for everybody. Yeah.
Would it be better if we approved 3 units then instead of doing
Good point.
the price? Because if he calls back and, you know, at the game room guys, it went up, they don't have that particular pinball
point.
machine and they have the $500 more, then he doesn't have to come back for approval again. So if we do the 3 units with
3 game machines.
the mayor's
What do you guys think?
board evenings, he's gonna be down at the community
I
center.
mean, I'm open. We got to
I'm in
pause.
agreement with that.
Is that what you want, Richard?
They had 3 to begin with, didn't they?
Originally, yes.
Yeah.
In fact, I think originally they had more than that.
Yeah, they did.
Through attrition or something, several of them had ended up going away, and I don't know, I think they were never replaced just because.
There was better than a half a dozen of them in there at one time.
The other thing we gotta think about, because arcades are fun.
Yeah, we got 6:30.
All right, let's stop it.
Yeah, we need to pause. What I'd like to do now is just pause the Parks and Recreation Committee meeting at 6:31 in lieu of opening up our 2022 budget adoption meeting. What I'd like to ask is there any questions from the council regarding the budget?
I have none at this time, Mayor.
Anyone?
All mine have been answered.
If not, I entertain a motion to approve the 2022 budget for next year.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We will approve the salary ordinance once we get into the council meeting. So, I will now close the budget adoption piece of the meeting, 6:33? 6:33. And we will unpause the Parks and Recreation Committee meeting. Mr. Richardson, I think what I've heard from folks is that we go forward with the machines, but have you look at getting 3 machines, you know, two pinball machines and your dance machine. Because like I think Mr. Noppert said, the pricing could have changed from, you know, we're not, you know, that kind of thing, but
Can I make a comment before we move on?
Sure.
This? Because I know that Mr. Richardson and I had talked about and actually met with some other individuals over there regarding online gaming and that being growing, that culture growing so much. Did we do any upgrades in regards to that, to our computer systems and monitors?
Sure did.
And is that something that we, in the future, maybe would want to look at some investment in, knowing that South Dearborn has a team, Lawrenceburg has a team, all the local schools have online gaming teams now. And if that maybe is a place that they could practice and,
It would be great if at some point in the future we could get a couple of actual gaming PCs to have, same type that they would use at the high school, or several of the high schools have these gaming teams. This is a major thing within the United States right now. They win competitions. Some of them get scholarships for things like this, so it's not crazy, and it's certainly something that's really taking root, especially in our community. Currently, what we did do is we added 3 Apple computers to the current lineup of hardware that we have. All of the other computers in the facility will be changed, I believe by mid-October was our new date on that. We had originally set out to get a certain item wasn't available, so we had to kind of regroup, reorganize, picked a different item, so that's going to be in about mid-October. So all of the computers in that lab by the end of October will be new, updated PCs.
okay,
Will they be the full-on gaming PCs like what we're talking about? No. But I think in the future, that's something that we should look at.
yeah. Well, that's why I just want to make sure before we're talking about 3 units. I mean, is it something we should have the discussion even right now that, hey, these gaming units are, their speed and their RAM, everything is off the charts, has to be super fast. So, I mean, there are an investment, as are the pinball machines. Is it something that, I know we haven't researched it, so I don't want to just fly off the cuff, but
Why don't we let Richard work with Bryson, see what's gonna be needed, right? Because I don't.
I just don't want him to blow his whole budget, you know, and, you know.
Oh,
and
well, his budget's blown now.
I think
But
even if we get,
I would have him,
I'm looking right now at a gaming PC for my son for Christmas. So in my head, I'm thinking about what kind of prices we're talking about. So even for a really nice one, I don't think we'd be blowing a budget.
Okay.
I think we could.
so you could just bring
I
that
think
one over, you could
Bryson-
just bring that one over and let us
Bring
use it.
Back next month.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know if
Say it
these
again.
were,
You could just bring that one over after Christmas and let
I
us
think my
use it.
son's gonna let me do it.
I didn't know with the graphics, with monitors and the, you know, the
you-
processors that it requires. I mean, I think we're probably one really nice gaming systems. I'll bet we're 3,000 to 5,000.
Yeah, high.
Not cheap.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
we
I mean,
won't be quite as expensive as a pinball machine.
yeah. So I just wanted to.
Let's let him work with Bryson, see what we
Yeah.
need to do,
Okay.
and, take a look at it. I mean, we wanna provide what we need. I mean,
What if our community center hosted gaming tournaments, you know, and all these schools came around to these, you know, our community center? I like gaming, but,
you could, like, council could participate in, it's Aurora Council.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's karaoke.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Karaoke. Okay, all right. Okay, so we want to, any other questions before we do a motion? Okay, so I'm going to phrase a motion this way. We're going to give Mr. Richardson the authority to purchase 3 gaming systems, or a couple pinball machines, and the Dance Revolution game.
Pump it up.
Pump it up.
Let's go.
Yeah, and he can pursue that at his leisure. Any questions? Is that okay? Can I get a motion?
I'll make
So
the
moved.
motion.
Motion, Lenny?
Yeah.
Second?
Second.
Tony? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Make it the best we can.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I have no other new business or old business for the parks. Anyone have anything to
I have none.
add for park? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. All right, I'd like to call to order the City of Lawrenceburg Common Council for October 18th, 2021. If we all could stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. All right, Mr. Fetty, one more time, roll call.
All right, Councilperson Tony Abbott.
Here.
Councilperson Justin Noppert.
Sir.
Councilperson Tommy Roulette.
Present.
Councilperson Lenny Fryman.
Present?
Councilperson Brett Mondurant. Yes, sir. City Attorney Dale Wilden.
Here.
Mayor Kelly Malone.
Here.
And myself.
Okay, announcements, board reports, streets, alleys, and curbs for the downtown area. Mr. Abbott?
No report.
Streets, alleys, and curbs for Ludlow Hill area, Mr. Fryman.
Everything's good.
Financial, Mr. Bondurant.
All good, Mayor.
Parks and Playgrounds, Mr. Noppert.
Things good?
Fire Department, Mr. Roulette.
No report.
All right, thank you, guys.
We'll
Other
have
than-
one thing to say, though, that Mario did put a bigger mirror on Bilby Road.
On Heiner Heights?
Yep, by
Yep.
Hunter Heights.
Yeah, I knew, that'd be good.
I haven't seen it yet, but I was told it was bigger.
I was up there today.
much bigger.
Looks really good.
I follow Lenny up
Yeah.
48 today. It's much larger.
So we was doing an
Lenny
investigation.
stand outside of it looking at himself?
Oh, I opened the door and got out and went like this and all that stuff. I mean, you can see it all.
I got a really
That's
good look
good,
at it.
though.
We were going about 15 mile an hour the whole way up there.
That's good. I'm glad that they got what they needed, so.
And regarding fire, just wanted to thank the first responders for their vigilance in that height, or the Walnut Street. I was out of town, but just from what I heard and what I saw, it could have been
too.
significant, and they got it.
Yeah, he had a pretty good report on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did,
They were actually busy there for a few days.
they did a good job.
If I'm not mistaken,
As
they had a
always.
roar down here
As
too.
always. Probably had a second alarm, yeah. Sure. Okay, a couple of things, reminders, and I don't know if it went out in a reach alert today or not, but it is out on social media. Trick or treat hours, 6 to 8, October 31st, in the city. And don't forget, I'll remind you guys, and I asked Guinevere to put out a meeting reminder for Wednesday. We have a work session regarding the riverfront. Public is invited, and that'll be at 5 o'clock until whenever. So those are the only two items that I have to mention this evening.
I know that east side of town's really busy for trick or treating downtown here, and there's pretty good visibility with police officers and the fire trucks.
Absolutely.
But just want to remind people, it's going to be dark. And these crosswalks, there's just a lot of traffic running around, so just really be vigilant on keeping an eye out for kids that night.
Absolutely.
And I don't know, turn your lights on, your front lights, just so that people can see.
Absolutely.
There's still some dark areas around.
Time change doesn't happen until first weekend in November, is that correct?
Yeah, November 5th, I think.
Although it's still getting dark at 7:15-ish. Yeah. 7?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
November 7th?
Yep.
I just want to know, does that mean that council, we can go out and trick or treat too?
Long as
As long as it's
you're dressed
dark.
like a glow stick.
As long as it's dark, Lenny, as long as it's dark.
Just asking.
Okay. Good. All right. Any other announcements? If there are none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, new business, we'll go to the 2022 Salary Ordinance. Do you have the one that was sent out today? Everybody have the most up-to-date? Okay, hopefully that we won't have to do any amendments. Any questions regarding the 2022 Salary Ordinance? What ordinance number?
11.
Mark? 11?
11.
Okay, if no questions, I'd entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 11-2021, which is the 2022 salary ordinance. And I would entertain a motion and approval as long as the vote is unanimous. Motion?
Just want to make sure that this
That's what I'm
doesn't
just-
contain the salary ordinance.
Can I get a motion? To approve.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. Motion carries. The other thing is you have your donation committee recommendations. Looks like we have one for the Whiskey City 5K. Any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the donation committee recommendations.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I have no other new business. Old business, looks like ethics ordinance, Mr. Weldon.
Thank you, Your Honor. Please, the Common Council for the City of Lawrenceburg, what you have in your packets for review and possible approval tonight is what would be ordinance number 2021-12. Common Council, City of Lawrenceburg, Indiana, Dearborn County, Indiana, ordinance to repeal and replace Title III, Section 38 of the City of Lawrenceburg Municipal Code. This will actually repeal and replace everything except for the first section of that code, which is currently 38.01. That would stay in place. Everything else would go away and be replaced by this in its entirety. 38.01 can stay. That's a preamble or kind of a statement by you as a city as to just explaining generally the expectation level that you have for ethics in the operation of city government, which includes elected officials, appointed officials, and our city employees. This is broken down in a much clearer way to track state law, and so all the language in this proposed ordinance, I know it's 14 pages long, but all the language comes directly from what has been promulgated by our state legislators as far as what they consider to be important and enforceable standards of ethics, standards of conduct for city officials such as those in the city of Lawrenceburg. So the first section, 38.02, is conflict of interest, and it spells out the definitions, the parameters, the application, the punishments for violation, and the potential and the requirements for disclosure, both annually and on a case-by-case basis for any conflict of interest. Section 38 and outlaws that in its entirety. Essentially, as we all know, conflict of interest means if you're getting something out of it, or if your immediate family's getting something out of it, you don't do it, you don't participate. Section 38.03, ghost employment. That is another statute that has been written and put into law by state of Indiana. This essentially means that no person should be paid by the city of Lawrenceburg to either do something not directly related to their employment or not do anything at all. So anyone who's supposed to be working and not working is committing ghost employment. Anyone who's doing something that's not directly tied to their jobs, like building a deck or doing landscaping at someone's house, they're committing ghost employment. Conflict of interest and ghost employment are also criminal offenses and felony offenses, in fact, which kind of makes them a little more dangerous to violate. But also, you know, these are written in a way that kind of shows what are the technical aspects, what are the punishments, but really also common sense. And you know, the best advice I ever got as a municipal lawyer, a city attorney, was just, you know, follow your gut first. If it feels bad, if it smells bad, then don't do it, you know, and that always guides us. So this is a way of breaking that out. You know, conflict of interest. Well, I feel like I'm too close to this, or I'm involved in this in some way. There you go. That's your answer. You know, don't participate in something like that. Ghost employment. We see someone who's supposed to be on the clock, who's doing something that they're not supposed to be doing. That's ghost employment. We stop that. The next section, which would become 38.04, bribery. Again, no one should obtain anything that would be intended to or likely to curry favor or obtain a favorable vote or a favorable action by anyone involved in our city of Lawrenceburg government. So this lays out, again, in great detail, some technical, complicated language, but mostly common sense. If someone's giving you something because they want you to vote on something or do something, then you know that's bad. And we spell this out for ourselves. This ordinance is going to be permanent, and it's going to spell out the parameters that are appropriate for future generations and future city of Lawrenceburg elected, appointed officials and employees. Profiteering from public service. Any employee that has a pecuniary interest in a contract or purchase within 1 year from separation from employment or service within the agency cannot, a contract that is existing or being negotiated while someone is either an elected, appointed official or an employee, obviously they can't participate in that. That's really conflict of interest. But anything, it expands that definition to include anything that was maybe someone started their last year in office and then finished the year after they stopped serving, or started their last year of employment and finished the year after. So it doesn't bar any business that someone would want to do at city. You know, say someone retires and they start a landscaping business, as long as there's a break, but they couldn't sign those contracts, you know, while they're still employed and then retire and then participate.
Unless there's a year later on in that the same line, 1 year after.
Yeah, so the carryover, the overlap is still intended, the definition is still intended to include things that were started in some way, even if it's minuscule, even if it's just discussions. So, you know, again, we don't want to bar people completely from doing business with the city of Lawrenceburg, but, you know, if you were the landscaping employee and then you retire and then all of a sudden you're doing all the business with the city of Lawrenceburg, well, that would just look bad for all of us, even if it's not. So we wouldn't want to include that. We wouldn't want to have that behavior. And again, this is something that, these are the difference between this code and the old code. So the old code kind of had things that were maybe copies of state law or things that came from other cities that they had just invented. These are just straight copy and paste from Indiana code. So these are things that the legislature has vetted, voted on and approved, rather than anyone just kind of making up different parts of the code. 38.06, official misconduct. Anyone who accepts any property or anything of value or transacts with a pecuniary interest in their official duty commits, this is another one, commits felony, commits a crime punishable by the law. So when you're discharging your duty, you're doing it for the public good. You're not doing it for yourself or really for even one particular individual. It's what's good for everyone. 38.07, nepotism. So this codifies nepotism and conflict of interest are kind of the easy ones for us, because every year we annually certify that we're not participating in anything that would be a conflict of interest, and we're not knowingly allowing nepotism to occur. And the kind of the clarification here, I guess, for people maybe on the outside or a little bit unfamiliar, is just we can't have someone on a management level directly supervise a family member as defined within Indiana law. So sometimes things that seem like nepotism aren't. You know, if there's ever a question, of course, Mark Fetty would be available to answer public records requests or clarifying questions. But again, we're using the language that the state has written, because that makes it most enforceable and easiest to understand. So we not only do we follow this code already, but we specifically certify every year we're not allowing any nepotism to occur at the city of Lawrenceburg. And we wouldn't participate in a hire that created that. 38.07, contracting with a unit. So the city of Lawrenceburg not enter into a contract for procurement of goods and services with an individual as a relative of an elected official, or a business entity that is wholly or partially owned by the relative of an elected official or the elected official himself or herself. That would be conflict of interest. And this also loops back into the conflict of interest statute for disclosure. This is kind of conflict of interest for family members, might be a better way to look at it, but this is also part of that annual disclosure that if, again, you're obtaining a kind of financial interest and it's close enough, it's linked close enough, then really you go back into the conflict of interest statute. This makes it apply to the family members just as they're defined within this code. One of the things to look out for is just that within these provisions, the definition of family member is not always the same, which is quite intentional. Again, with the concept of conflict of interest driving things, that's if the money goes directly in your pocket, and then how far out does that need to be applied. But we are relying on the language from the state not anything other than that, which that's the big difference between our existing ethics ordinance and this ethics ordinance. It's much more robust, much more broad in the sense of covering everything that needs to be covered. It gives all of us, all of you guys, elected officials, and then our appointed officials, our employees, a good solid guidepost. No one has to guess what you can and can't do. Again, it's common sense, but also technical. And then this is directly from the laws that have been passed by the state rather than putting things together on our own, which is a better situation. This is also, I will say, this is also something that we've been working on. There have been some drafts, but I put this into the packets just for consideration. So don't hesitate to take a beat, and we can tee this back up again next month. I know you guys like to have some time to look at these things, but because we didn't have a small committee, and this is something that really the whole council needs to approve, there's really no way to kind of do it individually. Normally we would have multiple work sessions. So if this is something that everyone wants to take a look at, ask questions about, and we can vote on it at the next meeting, that's more than appropriate, especially given the way that I know that you guys like to take extra time and look at things very carefully. So I do want to say that.
One thing I want to point, there was a couple letters and some of the subcategories and there were things, a couple letters missing and stuff. Not that it's real important, I just wanted to point that out to you. A few lines in this one right here, I don't know if you want a little bit cleaner copy or whatever.
It is, it's not so I use an Apple PC, and the formatting sometimes just doesn't come through very well. So I think I would be, once we get a final version, I'd like to come over and look at it on your computers.
Okay.
And when you send it to American Legal, we'll know exactly what the final version looks like. 'Cause I agree with you, there's a couple weird formatting things.
Happen there.
Can I suggest that we table this until the next meeting? Give everybody an opportunity to read through it a little bit more clearly and intimately. Can I get a motion to table ordinance, we'll call it the ethics ordinance.
It was number
Well-
12, you want to call it 12? or
Well,
you
I don't want to
just
call it
wait
12
right
yet
now?
until we.
Okay, we'll just wait.
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yep.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Justin, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Just to clarify again, Mr. Weldon, the first page and a half is pretty much the preamble, and then it goes right into the Indiana State Code and follows that pretty closely.
It follows it exactly, it's verbatim.
Okay.
And the language on the first page and a half that doesn't go in the ordinance, but look at your current code, because 38.01 would be the only part of the current code that would stay. And that was the kind of the preamble that I was talking about. That would
Okay.
actually stay, but
Okay.
that's language that I think can stay. The other thing, and thank you, Your Honor, I think that's the best way to handle it. I wanted to get this done for you guys because you've been asking for it. But I also don't want you to rush through it because you never do that.
So let's make sure that at the next meeting, we have a copy that was
Clean version, just, yep.
the version that we'll
Yep.
be sending to American
Yep.
Legal.
Can we all get a
In the
copy of that?
I'm sorry.
Like a hard copy?
A hard copy?
Yeah, Mark can get, Mr. Fay can get you.
Oh, you'll
one.
have your iPad by then.
Smart Alex.
The other thing that I did want to announce, Mr. Fetty and I, and all of you guys have worked in Richard Richardson, he's gone now, but, for 2.5 years and really 6.5 years, we've been trying to figure out how we kind of redo the whole code, not just this part of the code, but how do we clear up things that just have naturally occurred, in having a code that's been around for a long time. And what we see is that, when something in our code either is outdated or is contradictory or doesn't work, or we don't have something that we should have, we just replace that part. And that seems fine at the time, but over the years, you get kind of superfluous language or contradictory language, or things just don't fit together. Plus you get a code that's probably bigger than it needs to be. So the first kind of crack everyone took at fixing that was, well, let's have committees and subcommittees and have every department kind of propose, okay, here's what I need for this department, here's what I need for that department. Well, I think that just has taken a long time. It's too much to do. And the other thing is, we would actually do the opposite of what we want to do, because then we'd have a code that's 700 pages long if everybody in the city said, here's all the code parts I want. So what I would propose, and that we're going to start, and we're going to keep it small, but obviously you guys are going to be completely involved in the final product is yours and yours alone. But American Legal Publishing, who publishes and posts our code and everyone's code, they have a service where they have a mock code, like a model code that's generic based on the size of your city, and then they meet with your city over the course of, it's a 6 to 9 month project, and they say, okay, here's the model code, the generic code, but here's, where we could tweak things. So the department heads will still be involved, but it won't be just kind of a free-for-all. And the overlying principle will be simplicity, less is more, transparency, readability, but we want to accomplish everything we can that we need to accomplish, but with the least amount of language.
And accountability.
And accountability. Well, and what I've always, and this really carries over, what you don't see when you look at the code even, is that this carries over to Plan Commission, BZA, our subdivision code. I mean, we've got this code, but then there's all these other codes just float. You'll see them in those red binders everywhere. And what a good code should be is, if I own a Applebee's and I want to come to Lawrenceburg, I shouldn't have to meet with Messmore or Guinevere or Mayor Milan or anybody. I should just be able to get online and say, well, this is what Lawrenceburg says for signs. This is what Lawrenceburg said. And we want to invite those businesses. I've always thought, and I would argue, that we have a lot of business opportunities that we never even know we lost because they try to get online, they can't find their code, or they talk to someone, right? I mean, we want to build the city that we want. And I think that we can do that this way best. I think it'll be a project that will pay off for the next 50 years. But Mark will lead it. We're going to meet with the American Legal Publishing representative next Thursday. And then you guys will be involved, and you can ask questions, you can check on the project. But I'm excited about it because that seems perfect. That one, when I found out that Morris Hill was doing exactly that, much smaller scale, it seemed like, well, wow, this is the perfect thing for us.
This is for all of our ordinances.
We would get it. We would get to the point where we just repeal and replace the whole thing.
Book.
Yeah, at once, which is what we've always wanted to do.
Yes.
And that way everything
Can you
matches.
go from here to here,
Gosh.
maybe?
Yeah, exactly. So
Well,
we'll
No,
keep it as
it'll-
Are they the only
short and
ones that do
simple
that,
as
would be my question. Are they the only ones that go through this process and help with this, or do we need to?
Probably not.
Did?
Probably not, but it's American Legal. We already use them, and they're doing it for Morris Hill. So those were two things that. But yeah, I mean, we could go down that path because it seems like a great fit, and we can get started. Or we can ask them. They would even probably share some competitors and give us pricing where we could quote it.
Well, I mean,
it could be professional
Probably
services.
be nice
or we
if they're
could,
gonna charge us, $200,000 for this process, and
Yeah.
another one's gonna charge us.
well, and right, we won't get
Don't
started.
forget,
We don't even
And
get started
with
until you get
professional
the form.
services, you get what you pay for.
Well, I agree, you're right.
I mean,
Yeah.
if American Legal, or American Publishing, is that
Yeah,
the
American
proper
Legal
name?
Publishing.
Yeah.
Legal Publishing, American Legal, if they're the ones that are doing this, why, and I don't know anyone in American Legal Publishing, never met with them in my life, but I would think that they would be the ones you want looking at your ordinances. I don't know.
And I think,
But I don't disagree with you.
And it doesn't mean they're always the best. I mean, I think they'll probably do a fine job. I think it's just to have just to have a ballpark. I mean, because they may know that, and they could triple their price from everyone else, and
Yeah.
another company may do it just as good or better,
Yeah.
and then submit the same stuff through them.
We can always get references.
Yeah,
So-
make them charge us what they charge Morris Hill, then we'll be in good shape.
Yeah. They agree
No,
to that.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion if they agree to that.
Yeah.
I think part of what Dale kind of mentioned too is we're going to meet with them next Thursday, so we'll know a lot more once we sit down, talk. They kind of see what we got. We've
Good.
got a lot of things already kind of done that we want to put in there and go through there. So until we actually sit down and meet with them, we're not going to know any numbers or details or anything.
That's understandable.
Okay, that's good. Good job. Yeah. Okay. Any other old business? Folks?
Not necessarily old business, but
Yes.
I checked, I did not get a reach alert text message today for Halloween.
Not yet.
Okay.
No, we haven't put it out yet.
Okay.
No, we
I
just
saw
put it
it
on
on
social media.
Okay, I was gonna say, that's.
I asked her
see
to put
on
it out on
social
Reach
media.
Alert as well.
Yep.
Yes,
Cool.
yep, good point. Okay, any other old business from you guys? If not, I'll entertain comments from the audience. Yes, sir.
Scott McLean, and I just want to tell you, the last couple of weeks, we've had a lot of visitors in town, and we had a very well-known family had a wedding this last weekend. Cincinnati, well-known. And a lot of people came in here from other states. They came in here who haven't been here for many years. And, man, the compliments we get on this city, something else. It's unbelievable. People come from Texas, people come from Alabama, or someone who graduated 5 years ago said, my gosh, look what's going on with the city. I tell you, thumbs up to all you guys.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
It's going
Thank you.
well.
Thank you, Scott.
Good to hear.
A lot of good people doing a lot of good things.
I just wanted to say congratulations. I read that you all got some kind of a award or recognition for the.
Civic Park. That was and I was gonna share that at the very last, but that's good. That's a good, carryover. IDA, it's a, MKSK, who, if you remember, was the architects, for the Civic Park. Entered the Civic Park into a national, award recognition contest, and it's at their national conference that they have every year, and they're actually in Tampa. I wish I'd known that, but they're in Tampa this week actually, and a press release came out today. And among 12 applicants throughout the nation, we were awarded first for the Civic Park.
Wow.
And pretty impressive. And you know, that's, you know, we all know we spent, you know, some good dollars on that park, and everybody remembers what it was. Everybody's been here a while, you know, it was 2 concrete parking lots, and we get a lot of compliments on that, and that's why we use it a lot. I implore you to just wait till Winter Wonderland. It's going to be really nice over there. And well, we got Michelle in the audience, and she knows what we're doing over there. She's got some events planned over there for the winter as well. And actually, the mayor's tree lighting will be over there this year. We got something different going on over there, and the park has proved to be a really nice, iconic thing here in Lawrenceburg. You know, we never want to lose sight of what we all grew up here with, that's for sure. All the nice architecture and things like that. But it just fits. I think it fits. And I think a lot of people agree with that. But you know, I'll say this about everything, and Scott, you just said it, you know, we get a lot of visitors and a lot of people in town. I run up on a lot of people that are staying at the DoubleTree and things, you know, and they would have they came to Music on the River, and they say, oh, we're from Philadelphia, we're here to visit the Ark and the Creation Museum, but you know, we're here on a Thursday night, and you know, what's this all about? People want to come back. I got, you know, we had ICOM, International Conference of Mayors here about, well, it was four years ago. It was before the park was done, and we still had Music on the River on the street. And those mayors are begging to come back here for ICOM because they want to see the finished product. And that usually is a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I'm trying to get that back to Lawrenceburg, and Mayor Weiss is now president of ICOM, so I put my request into him, but I haven't heard back. So, but I'm anxiously awaiting. So anyway, you guys, I mean, you guys are doing the right things, and this meeting on Wednesday night, you know, just a preempt to that. everybody that I've been doing this now for over 6 years. Everybody that I've talked to down here in the city and over the years, even before that, the Ohio River is probably the most unused resource that we have here in the city.
Absolutely.
And we really have never really taken a good look at what we can do on that river to entice people to come off that river and to come to Lawrenceburg, right? People don't even know this is Lawrenceburg. There's not even a sign that says welcome to Lawrenceburg. So that's the next project that this group has really put their heads behind, and that's what we're starting with some initial stuff on Wednesday. So if you can be here at 5 o'clock, more than welcome. It's not going to be a full-blown community input meeting. That'll come. This is more to a get-started meeting. To come back, for this company to come back then with okay, here's what I heard from your wish list, Mr. Council, or whatever. Now we're going to have to figure out, okay, we can't afford this, and now how are we going to tweak it? But we're going to, the community's going to have to get behind it, and we want their input as well. So it'll be a good project. It'll be a good project. Good for downtown. I really believe that. So anyway, any other comments?
Yeah, I'd like to compliment.
Next, let me see. Go ahead, Larry.
I'd like to compliment on the people who was in charge for that park, that board that you all put together, that
Good community.
that come up with the community and said what they wanted up on top of the hill and down here. I want to compliment them. They've done a heck of a job.
Yes, they did, and I'll be the first to admit that I was anti-splash pad at the park. And I got outvoted, and thank goodness I did. Because that was the biggest mistake that would have been made. That's the biggest hit over at that park, is that splash pad.
Well, Mayor, I just
Glad I've got outvoted.
I hate to say it, Mayor, but every time you're just like my wife. If you ask for something, the first word out of your mouth is no. But we love you.
Then I think about it, but anyway. Okay, thank you. Entertain a motion to approve the claims.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
That's 30 to do so.
Motion carries. Thanks, everybody, for coming out.